And good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining our series of Tune-In Tuesdays. Today we're going to cover Office 365, which is Microsoft's newest offering when it comes to their cloud or online services offering. These are features that aren't available today, will be coming this year. In fact, they've announced them. They're already in the queue. In fact, we're part of the beta program testing these applications. But won't be available until the June timeframe is the latest date that we have as of right now. This is the next version of what they're calling BPOS, or Business Productivity Online Suite, and it's really just updating all of the applications that are available in Business Productivity Online Suite and adding some new features that have not been available before. So let's get started here and okay, where are my slides? Oh, there they are. Okay. And let's talk about what's coming and what's going to be available in Office 365 that's a little bit different from the what's available today in BPOS. So obviously Exchange is available in BPOS today. We're running version 2007. This will be Exchange 2010. So this will have all the new features like archiving, a lot of new interface, especially from an OWA standpoint, or in other words, their web browser interface. They'll also have a lot of advanced features when it comes to mobile computing. So people that are using things like Blackberries or iPhones or Androids or any of the popular mobile devices will have the ability to get a much cleaner, much more usable interface, and even be able to do things like have your voicemail actually turned into text so that you can read them on your mobile devices. All those features will be available with Exchange 2010. Obviously, SharePoint is a big part of the Business Productivity Online Suite. We are running SharePoint 2007. We'll be going to SharePoint 2010, which gives us a lot more added features. For instance, public websites that will be available from SharePoint. We'll also have a lot more from a compliance standpoint and from a security standpoint. Obviously, collaboration has been a big part of this, but you'll be able to do more things with forms, and a lot more templates will be available with SharePoint 2010. As you know, this is an Office Live meeting that we're doing today, and Champion is part of the BPOS suite. We run it to run our business, so this happens to be running in the Microsoft Cloud today, running in Live Meeting. But Live Meeting is actually an Office Communicator, or in other words, the instant message piece to the puzzle, will be all combined into one single product now called Link. Link will allow you to have video conferencing like we're doing today. You'll also even have one-on-one video conferencing available in Link, and a lot more streamlined administration for your administrators with a single product instead of having administrating two different products. And then one of the big key features that's an add-on that's not available inside BPOS is Office Professional. For those of you that have already purchased Office 2010, have already put it in your EA agreement or whatever, this isn't a big deal to you guys. But for those people that don't have an enterprise agreement or any type of SA or a software assurance agreement with Microsoft, the ability to pay for Office on a monthly basis is available in Office 365. You'll also have the ability to have web apps. Web apps are actually deployed in SharePoint, obviously part of Office 365, and gives you the ability to use Office applications without ever having to install them on the PC. So if you're on the road, if you're at a neighbor's house, if you're at your mom's house, and you need to get to an application, you get to your email and somebody sent you a Word document, and that person doesn't have the right version of Word to open it up. For instance, if it was created in Office 2010 or in 2007 and they're running an older version of Office, the pains that you go through trying to open up those type of documents. Well, with web apps, you'd be able to go in, open up those applications through SharePoint, and actually view and edit and do all the things that you normally do with a full installed client on your desktop You'll be able to do it from anywhere at any time. Big part of the Office 365 package that we're talking about here. So let's talk about why Office 365. Why is cloud computing becoming such a mainstream environment for a lot of corporations? And I'm not talking about just the big Fortune 500 companies that are adopting this. We have right now well over 5,000 customers that have signed up for the Business Productivity Online Suite, where Champion has helped them migrate their Exchange or their SharePoint or their live meeting or Office Communicator up into the cloud. And why are they doing it? And I'm talking about companies with as little as 20, 25, 30 people, all the way up to corporations that have tens of thousands of users are starting to adopt cloud as part of their strategy for delivering applications to their end users. And that's really the key message here is it's only part of the big picture. Microsoft obviously will have premise-based solutions that you can still run, that you can still deploy on-premise. But they'll also offer a lot of those in the cloud also. So for instance, they have a product called Azure, which is really the Windows 2008 server environment, whether it be web, whether it be SQL, whether it be test and development. All of those things are now available up in the cloud. They have CRM, the Dynamics product that they purchased, now is up in the cloud. In fact, Champion is in the process of migrating off of our Siebel application, which was run on-premise, and now deploying it to our cloud environment. For us, cloud makes a lot of sense, mainly because we're down here in South Florida. As you probably know, we just came through hurricane season, and one will be coming up again in June. And disaster recovery has to be part of our thinking here at Champion. The ability to run it in the cloud in a Microsoft environment, in a Microsoft data center, managed by Microsoft people, and replicated to multiple Microsoft sites was very, very attractive to us. We didn't have to worry about our core applications like our CRM package, now our email, our SharePoint, obviously our live meeting and Office Communicator products. All of those are in the cloud. All of them are highly available. In fact, Microsoft guarantees 99.9% SLA, and we don't have to worry about them from a disaster recovery standpoint. And we have offices all across the United States, 22 offices in 11 states up and down the East Coast, where they don't care about hurricanes. If they're in Ohio or they're in New York or, if they're in Charlotte, North Carolina, they just want access to their email, access to their folders, access to their information about their accounts. This will give it to them without having to worry about those. The other thing is, most of our customers are talking about, trying to not have to purchase hardware, not have to purchase software, and get rid of capital expense and try to get on the operational side of their applications. And that's really what cloud gives you. With the Microsoft, whether it be BPOS or now Office 365, you do not have to buy any hardware. You don't have to buy any software. All of it is included in the package, along with the full support 7x24x365. You'll be able to get support included in the package, no additional cost. And the beauty of this whole thing is you get access from anywhere. If you can get to the internet, you can get to your applications, your information anywhere in the cloud. And you still get full control by your IT guys. The only things that they don't have to worry about is that day-to-day stuff that today eats up a lot of their valuable time. Like, for instance, when Microsoft on Tuesday comes out with all their security patches and all their application updates, you don't have to worry about them anymore. They're all done by Microsoft for you and keep you in best practices for their applications. If your servers or your SAN needs to be updated from a firmware perspective, for instance, on your HBAs or your BIOS upgrades or any of those things that you need from a hardware perspective, you don't have to do them anymore for any of those applications that are run up in the cloud. All of these things are freeing up time for your valuable resources, your IT guys, to concentrate on the applications that drive business to the bottom line. And that's really, an important statement that Microsoft is making. So let's talk about the improved management that you're getting, because like I said, this is the next generation of BPOS. It's just the next thing coming out from Microsoft. The beauty of getting into the cloud is the ability to upgrade to these newest applications without having to take your IT guys out of your environment to get trained on Exchange 2010 or SharePoint 2010 or the new Link product or any of the new things that are coming out from Microsoft. This gives you the ability now to just get those upgrades as they become available from Microsoft. You don't have to take them immediately either if you don't want them. You can actually schedule them when's best for your corporation. But now in this new generation of BPOS, we have improved the management and really simplified the tasks that need to be performed through a web access interface that allows you to do all these things really without having to go through any extensive training for Exchange 2010 and learning all the new features. We also have new role-based user access. So, for instance, if you want your head of your Exchange department to have full rights, be able to do everything, you can give limited rights to, let's say, help desk people that just needs to, for instance, reset a password because you forgot to, you forgot your password, you just changed it or whatever. So you can actually give limited amount of access to different types of people. One of the biggest things that people have been asking for is the ability to do a single sign-on. In other words, you log into your domain, and this will log you into all of your other applications, whether it be Exchange, whether it be SharePoint, whether it be Link, or any of these other things. And that's all done through federation. Part of the newest thing, Office 365, is the ability to federate not only your standard Microsoft offerings, but things like your voice over IP systems and your fax servers and different things where now they can all be interconnected through this single federation and give you the ability, for instance, if you run Cisco as your office phone and you want to have all of your voicemails now sent to your email. And if you delete it out of your email, you want it to communicate back to your Cisco phone system and delete it out of your phone system at the same time. That's what federation brings to this. It also gives you a new command line with PowerShell to help you manage those tedious things that you do inside of Exchange. For instance, if you want to increase mailbox size for a bunch of different users, instead of having to go into each individual user to do that, you can run PowerShell commands that will allow you to go in, run the same command over and over again against thousands or tens of thousands of mailboxes, all through a single line command. And then one of the biggest things that our customers were asking for is new flexible billing options. How it gets billed, who it gets billed to, can I separate it by department, can I do those type of things so that when I run my businesses, I can actually give a P&L to each one of my departments and charge accordingly. All those things are coming with Office 365. Then if you take a look at the new productivity features and capabilities you get through, for instance, we talked about Office Web Apps, which is a big selling point to go to Office 365 when it becomes available. This, like I said, gives you the ability to run your Word, PowerPoint, OneNote, and Excel all through web-based interface running in SharePoint. In fact, if you want to go out and test drive it today, it's available on Microsoft's site for free. No charge to you whatsoever. There are some limitations if you don't already own Office. To be able to save files locally, you have to save them to your SkyDrive and things like that. But if you own Office, you have the ability to open it up in your locally installed Office programs, even the ones you create up in the cloud, and then save them to a local drive or to some type of network share. But if you go to live.com, www.live.com, you can go in and try these applications for free. You only need a Microsoft Live ID to be able to do those things. Those are going to be all built into certain versions of Office 365. And you're going to see that you're still going to have the flexibility like you have in BPOS of only ordering the applications that are applicable to that user. So if you want to give a user just access to email or just access to SharePoint or certain applications, you can do that. Or you can give them full-blown Office, or you can give them just web apps. You're going to see further on in the presentation the flexibility that Office 365 is going to give you. You'll also be able to, as you can see on the slide here, have online meetings through Link, like I told you about. You'll also have intercommunication between SharePoint Online and the Exchange 2010 versions, and a new user interface. So all of those things built right into the Office 365 environment. Here are really the four key components that are going to be part of Office 365. And as you can see, I'm not going to read each one of these bullet points here, but these are the four core applications. One of the things that isn't mentioned here that customers ask about all the time is security. What type of security is Microsoft using in this cloud environment to secure my data? Very important point that we need to cover here. First of all, forefront security is part of both BPOS and Office 365. The reason you don't see it on this slide here is it's included with every single membership that you have. So whether the person has just Exchange or whether they have the full-blown suite, they'll get forefront security. And this will take care of your virus protection. It will take care of malware and spam and things like that so that you're not, receiving all of these things. Is it configurable by you? Absolutely. You can go in and whitelist or blacklist domains. You can do it just by user. You can do it by full domains. You can do it by groups. So all of these things are fully configurable by you or your IT staff to be able to give you that flexibility that you're used to without all the management headaches that you're going through today. That's really where cloud, differentiates itself between on-premise and in the cloud. But just so you know, there are hybrid solutions out there that we're doing for customers every day. In fact, we have an insurance company in Ohio that wanted to put quite a few of their users, about 800 of their users, in the cloud, but they wanted to keep over 10,000 users on site because they wanted disaster recovery for those 800 users. They didn't want to actually deploy it for all, of their 13,000 users. This gave them the ability to still run Exchange 2007 on site for those users and put 800 users up in the cloud, still have all of their contacts, all of their emails, all of their information being able to communicate back and forth in this hybrid solution. So real big part of Microsoft is that they give you the flexibility not only to run it in the cloud, but also to be able to run it on premise. And that's where Champion actually brings a lot of value to this offering. We don't bill you for any of the Microsoft Cloud services. That comes through Microsoft. You get a bill every month through Microsoft. When you call the 800 number for support, you're calling a Microsoft employee. In fact, they're based in Vancouver, British Columbia. You'll be speaking to a Microsoft badged employee, 7x24x365. So where does really Champion play in this whole big picture? Well, our job is to help you, number one, move your current information into the cloud, whether it be your Exchange database that you already have in place, or even if you're migrating off a different email system, whether it be Lotus Notes or GroupWise or any of the other popular email programs out there. We have migrated tens of thousands of users into the cloud and out of not just Exchange environments. We'll also help you then kick off or help you migrate your on-site SharePoint environment up into the cloud. And for those of you that don't have a lot of SharePoint experience, we have a whole SharePoint practice here at Champion that will not only help you migrate your data into the cloud, but help you design your look and feel, your compliance, all of your things that you need to do from a SharePoint security aspect. And our security experts, our SharePoint experts, will help you take those steps that might take you months, if not years, to get to, and get you there much quicker than you'd be able to do by yourself. And that's really where Champion adds a lot of value to these things. Now, here's what I was talking about when we're talking about new flexible purchasing options. And you'll notice that there's really two different types of plans here. There's an enterprise plans that you can see, and then there's kiosk plans. To give you a baseline to go by, BPOS has two different types of users today. They have standard users and they have deskless workers. And think of the kiosk plans as the deskless workers, the enterprise plans as the standard users. So you could see that you can get each individual plan that you need, and you can do it by user. So if all you want to do is give just certain things to certain people, whether it be email and only email, that's fine. You can also give it to them in a kiosk. And what I mean by that is the difference between the two. The enterprise plan, if you have Exchange, for instance, you will get the ability to run Outlook, either 2007 or 2010. You'll also be able to use OWA, so you could do it through any web browser. And the beauty of Exchange 2010 is whether it's IE, whether it's Firefox, whether it's Safari, all of the look and feel will be identical now with the browsers. It's not like you get more functionality like you used to with IE. Now if you have a Mac, for instance, or you're using an iPad, or you're using any of those type of devices, and you want to use a browser to access your email through the Office web app, you'll be able to do that and get the same look and feel through Safari that you got through your Internet Explorer. So, and you'll be able to access this through mobile phones, like I told you. You can do it through your BlackBerry, you can do it through your iPhone, you can do it through your Androids or any of the other phones that are out there. If you go to the kiosk plan, which you can see is a lot less money, you can actually get just the OWA client. So let's say you have someone that's not behind a desk all day. You have a truck driver. You have a person that works out in the warehouse. You're in the retail business and you have people that are working the retail floor all day. But they still need access to their email. You can give them what's known as a kiosk plan and give them the ability to log in from any browser securely and get their email, answer it, compose emails, do all that they do through a full client. And I think you'll see with the new OWA client through Microsoft, it's about 85 to 90% of all the function that you could do in your Outlook, you can now do in your Office web app. And they do call it now a web application and not just web access, where that's the difference between running it in different browsers. You also have the ability in your kiosk plans to give them SharePoint and Office web apps. So you can see that for those people that don't sit behind a desk, but you want to give them access to SharePoint to be able to, for instance, get to insurance forms, get to different announcements by the corporation, you can do that with kiosk, or you can do it with the enterprise plan. As we move down the stack, you can see that if all you want is just Office web apps, that's one price. If you want to go for the full-blown Office Professional Plus that gets installed on the PC, and this is Office 2010, just so you know, though there are two different prices. So we'll be able to help you. Your Champion representative will help you figure out which plans actually fit best for you. And as you can see up at the top, you can do monthly or even annual billing options so that you can, if you want to bill this out all in one single payment like you did your enterprise agreements, you'll have that option now to do that. And you can add and subtract users as you need to with the cloud offering. That's one of the key differentiators. What to expect. As you can see, this is really designed to keep it simple. One of the things that a lot of our customers, tell us is, sometimes they feel like they're held hostage by, not being able to get the newest technology only because they don't have the time or resources to be able to get to the newest features that Microsoft has to offer. And that's really what the cloud gives you. It gives you the ability to get up there quickly without a lot of training. You can schedule all of your migrations up there. You'll get full customization of all your calendaring and scheduling, and you can see that you get full support on a 7 by 24 by 365 day a year program. You also can see that from what you need to have at your platforms, you need to be at least at XP Service Pack 3. I know that most of our customers are looking at Windows 7 migration right now, whether that be through a physical desktop or, I'll tell you, one of the most popular offerings we have is our virtual desktop offering. And that plays really well with our cloud offerings because, again, trying to centralize management, trying to ease the burden of your IT staff where you're not managing thousands and thousands of different images out at the desktop. Desktop virtualization is really just another added feature that you can take advantage of in this coming year to simplify management of your desktop and of your application environment. And it also gives you the ability to do application virtualization, whether it be through the Microsoft product like AppV, or whether it be through other vendors like VMware or Citrix, which we're business partners for both of them. All of those companies offer an application virtualization package to minimize how you deploy your applications to your end users. So what do we got going forward here? So, today, BPOS is available. In fact, and I do strongly recommend that if cloud is something that you're looking at, that you get involved in BPOS today and start to get your things migrated over into the cloud. I will tell you that Office 365, to be able to take advantage of all the features, federation, single sign-in, all the things that are coming with Office 365, it's imperative that your local environment be really up to snuff. And what I mean by that is to make sure that you're doing best practices from a domain structure, that you're at 2008 domain, that you've taken all the time to, for instance, on 2010, there are no more public folders. So now we got to find a way to migrate those public folders into SharePoint so that you still have access to all of them. All these things have to be done prior to getting really involved in Office 365. So I would tell you that this is really part of the plan, is to get involved with BPOS today. That's what we did as champion. It's been an excellent experience for us. We've had zero downtime. I can tell you that as a fact of life. And in fact, on this web conference that we have here, we probably have 40 or 50 people in this web conference today. And really the only bandwidth I need is my single connection up into the Microsoft cloud. All of you out there are connecting to Microsoft's bandwidth. So from a resource standpoint, I'm using very little. I'm doing full motion video. I'm doing audio and broadcasting this. I'm also recording this so that we can post it out on our website, and it's all being done in the Microsoft cloud. So all of those things are part of the features of signing up for BPOS today. And plus, it will get your users acclimated to the cloud environment before you move to Office 365. Also, like I said, this will give you the ability to plan ahead, to give you time to start getting to the areas that you need to. Now, one thing that Microsoft is offering, and this is another area where Champion helps Microsoft out quite a bit, is they're funding cloud assessments for customers. And what I mean by funding, they're paying Champion to do them. They cost the end user, you guys, absolutely nothing. And this is a really intensive, very well thought out cloud assessment that's done of your environment, and It's really more of a question and answer session from our professionals to yours that gets the information we need to let you know where you are along the path, where you need to strengthen your environment, how we can get you into the cloud, what time it's going to take, how, all the things that you need to know before you jump into the cloud. And, since Microsoft is paying us to do it, it doesn't cost your corporation any investment except a little bit of time to be able to find out that information. And it gives you a really nice, professionally done write-up, deliverable. It's about 35 pages long, gives you ROI, gives you TCO information. So when you need to make a business decision on which way to go, premise or cloud, you have some documentation that you can fall back on. And you can get more of this information not only from the Microsoft 365 site, but also from the Champion Cloud Services. If you go to www.championcloudservices.com, we have everything out there in our website to answer all these questions. In fact, we have this whole frequently asked questions page out there, and I was just going to run through because we use this quite a bit as part of our, answering your questions. And, there's some things in here like, can I choose when I go to Office 365 is one of the frequently asked questions out here. And like I told you, we're on BPOS today. In June of this year, we'll have the ability to go to Office 365. And the beauty of it is it's migrated by Microsoft, and it's done on the time frame that we want it to get done. So if we want them to start migration at Eastern Time, 5 o'clock on a Friday, have it done by, Monday morning or even Sunday so that we can do some testing, make sure everything worked. It's all done by Microsoft, and it's all done at no charge. It's not like you have to pay Microsoft to migrate you to the newest platform. Also, you don't have to go in June. Let's say you want to wait until June might be a very busy time of the year for you, where you get a lot of email, a lot of correspondence, and you don't want to take the chance that anything might happen during that period of time. Well, you can hold off until a year if you want. You can, wait as long as you need to wait to be able to get to Office 365, but that's something that you guys get to choose from. When I make the transition from Office 365, what do I have to do, and what will Microsoft do? And like I told you, one of the things that you have to do is you do have to be up to the latest and greatest domain structure. You have to be up to, if you want the single sign-on, if you want to take advantage of federation, you have to be up to the latest and greatest. Microsoft will do everything else for you. Really, that's the key message here. From a requirement standpoint, these are one of the questions that we get all the time. What are the system requirements? What do I need to be running and able to install and run the applications that I need to run Office 365? So from an operating system standpoint, you need to be at Windows XP and at least Service Pack 3. So you need to be at least there. You can run, obviously, Vista, Service Pack 2. You can run Windows 7. You can run Mac OS, but you have to be at 10.5, which is the Leopard version, or 10.6, which is the Snow Leopard version. I'm not a Mac guy, so I don't understand that, but for those of you out there that have Macintosh, you know what I'm talking about. From a client standpoint, for instance, from Office standpoint, running Outlook and those type of things, you have to be at least at Office 2007 Service Pack 2, or obviously Office 2010. From a Macintosh standpoint, you have to be Office 2008 or 2011. You got to be a .NET 2.0 or greater to run Link, or if you're running Communicator for Mac, those are the type of things. So this document is out on our website. All the frequently asked questions that we keep updating it as people start asking us more and more questions, and we get more and more answers from Microsoft. We try to keep this thing as up to date as humanly possible. So those are the things that you really need to find out. Really, I think that's my last slide here.